Hi, my name is Ray, and I'll be talking about how customer success can fuel your advocacy. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce myself. Like I said, my name is Ray. I'm the Customer Advocacy Marketing Manager here at PowerDMS. PowerDMS makes software that helps you manage your most important information, typically policies and procedures, simplifying how you train on them and stay accredited. So fun fact about me, I love making dad jokes. It's one of the most rewarding things about being a parent, besides being responsible for another human's life. And yes, that is an actual picture of my desk, not a stock photo. So for today's talk, we'll be looking at how customer success, when done right, can help grow your company's advocates. And by growing advocacy, help you acquire more customers and growing your company's revenue. And of course, by growing customers, you now have more customers to do customer success with, again, turning those customers into advocates who continue to grow your company, and on and on. Before I get started, I want to share with you how I want to ask you a question. Think of a time when someone was tremendously kind to you. And how did that kindness make you feel? So I want to share a little bit a story of someone that shared tremendous kindness to me and my family. We had some friends that spontaneously, out of the blue, asked us if we wanted to go on a cruise next week. This was a couple of years ago. And they would pay for it. And I know all of you wish you had friends like that. We had never been on a cruise before, and of course we said yes. So there's a picture of my wife and my oldest son. We had a fantastic time going to the Bahamas. And it was really an act of kindness that was really unforgettable. So kindness, it's good for business, it's good for humans. This is a quote from our former Director of Customer Success here at PowerDMS, Joe Lovelace. And at PowerDMS, we really understand that showing kindness helps connect businesses because kindness connects with people. So if you think about people make up the businesses that are your customers. And that is the main part of how we do customer success at PowerDMS. So what does it look like when we apply customer success with kindness? So these are some of the results that we've been able to show. Industry-leading customer success metrics across the board. If you see our churn rate, 2.3, a net promoter score of 72, so how likely are you to recommend PowerDMS? And also a customer satisfaction rating of 97%. So this really shows when we take kindness and apply it to our actual business, it really does show through in the business and the output of measurable, sustainable results. So businesses are made of people, and if you aren't connecting with people, you aren't connecting with businesses. Only 29% of B2B customers are emotionally and physiologically attached to a business. 71% are ready to move their business elsewhere. So think about that. Think about how a business can connect with actual people. You're not connecting with an idea. You want to connect with the actual people that make up the business. So this is a little bit of a crazy statistic. 34% of millennials say they'd rather get their teeth cleaned at the dentist than call a customer service line. This is crazy, but it really goes to show what people traditionally think about customer service. So that's going to be a little bit of a difference with how customer service traditionally seen and how customer success as companies like Gainsight and Salesforce are really big proponents of. So what are the differences? Whereas the traditional customer support is reactive, impersonal, and is seen as a cost center, customer success seeks to be proactive and personal and show the KPIs to be revenue generating. So that really is a big shift from a traditional kind of model of customer support to a more proactive and revenue generating one. And I think one of the big differences also is the middle section there, where you seek to be personal as opposed to impersonal. So customer success definition, equipping customers to succeed with your product service through proactive digital tools and an intuitive human touch in order to extend the length and value of the relationship. So a question for you, research, how do your customers feel about interacting with your business? Research shows that 70% of buying experiences are based on how the customer feels they're being treated. So how are your customers feeling? What are they thinking when they interact with your business? Noted author and speaker Gary Vee says that customer service is the new marketing. So another question, what is your company doing to stand out? How will your company differentiate customer success and service from other companies? So at Powered EMS, how we try to differentiate ourselves is something we call wowness, which is wildly overwhelming through genuine empathetic kindness. So a little bit of a mashup between wowness and kindness, and just putting that together. And really having this be the standard for how every interaction with our customers is going to feel like. We want every interaction for them to feel like they're wildly overwhelmed. We want every interaction to be felt with an overwhelming sense of empathetic kindness. So what does that look like applied to answering support cases? What does wildness look like applied to that? So these are some of the numbers that we've seen from the past quarter. Just across the board, customer satisfaction ratings just really, really high. So what it looks like from the customers, in the customer's own words, these are some of the things that they're saying. That was the best helpline assistance I've ever gotten from any company. Awesome, friendly and quick. Above and beyond, thank you. Answered my question quickly and provided a resource for me to use. I was on my way in no time. It was fantastic. Just overwhelmingly positive things to say. This one's calling out Matt. He's the king of customer service. Powered EMS is his domain. Long live King Matt. We have literally hundreds of these types of comments from our customers. And one of the things that you might be wondering is how does this happen? How do we get such high ratings, customer success ratings, and these types of comments? You might be thinking about that. So I asked our service desk manager, and this is what he told us. Empathy and understanding with a hint of step-by-step teaching. It really makes a big difference being empathetic when you're able to relate to a person's problem in their moment. No software, as much as we would like it to be, no software is going to be 100% bug-free without any problems. So it really does make a difference how we relate to somebody when they're calling in. Can we sympathize with them, and can we really kind of feel their pain? And that goes a long way in how people perceive their interactions to be, and then as you can see with some of the metrics that we've shown, just really being satisfied and just really feeling like that was a great experience. So from time to time, customers will share personal information with us because we seek to be authentic in our relationship with them. This is actually a little bit more of a sad story from one of our customer success advisors. So just go ahead and read this. This is from Stephanie. Just had a customer share with me that recently found out that his wife and father have terminal cancer. His wife has 2 years. She's in her 40s. They're planning to take a lot of time off this summer and planning a trip to Charleston because that was where they had planned to retire. So one of our responses when we get things like this is, we just try to do something small. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Obviously, with such serious life interactions, there's not much we can do, really. So we really just seek to just show a small gesture of empathy and really just try to be there for them. So we just sent them a small gift card to a restaurant that one of our other customer success advisors had recommended. Nothing too crazy, nothing too big, but just something so that for them to know that we're thinking about them and we care about them, and it really does make a difference. So this is the response from the customer back to Stephanie. I hope everything is going in the right direction with your family. Just wanted to say Happy Easter, and that earlier this week you made my wife Jean and I's day with a gift certificate to a restaurant in Charleston, South Carolina. It really meant so much to us. So in these moments, a kind gesture, though small, can really help. So on a little bit of a lighter note, a happier note, we had some of our CSAs doing some on-site training, and it happened to fall on our customer's daughter's 16th birthday. And our guys wanted to take them out for dinner and just kind of, give them a good experience. And the daughter not only agreed to go, but she had a great time. So I want you to think about when you were 16. Would you want to hang out with your parents on a business dinner? Probably not. But our team really made the daughter feel special on that day. So much so that she took the time to write a letter by hand and mail it to us in the actual mail. So this is really kind of cool for us. So it really kind of shows, just trying to find those moments where you can really not do the normal thing that a typical company is going to do. Just kind of take it above and beyond. It really does make a difference. So when you're doing wellness, when you're doing customer success like this, it leads to advocacy. It really helps you to stand out from other companies, and it really has helped us create advocates. So one of the ways we like to think about it is wellness is kind of like making deposits in a customer's account. We just keep making these small deposits over and over again with how we talk on the phone with them, with how we email with them. Anytime there's kind of a special occasion, we can just do something special for them, and we just keep making these small deposits. And when we've made enough deposits of wellness, they're a lot more willing to do things for us when we ask for things of advocacy, like asking for referrals and reviews and references. And it's a little like withdrawing some of those deposits that we've made earlier. So just real quickly, go over what advocacy is. So advocacy is the art and science of identifying our highest potential customers, employees and partners, and other fans, motivating and empowering them to spread the word about our company. And when nurtured properly, these advocates can make a tremendous impact on a business, from sales and marketing to product and more. And really, advocacy, we're talking a little bit about how it can help from a revenue standpoint and how it can increase revenue, but it really does kind of cover everything your company needs a customer to do for you that can be covered under advocacy. So it really does kind of impact the entire company. So why advocacy? So just some more statistics for you. Word of mouth is a primary factor between 20 to 50% of all purchasing decisions. 63% of consumers search for help from other customers online. And brand advocates are 70% more likely to be seen as good source of information by people around them. So I want you to take some time to think about your own decision-making process when looking for a product or service. What do you typically do? I know for me, if I'm buying anything online, I'm looking at reviews on Amazon or any other place where there's a lot of reviews. Think about the last time you were thinking about, what restaurant you wanted to go out to. Yelp is a great place to just kind of find these reviews. There's also asking for recommendations on, a dentist or a plumber or an AC guy. And Facebook has different features now where you can do that within your geographical area. So really, this is how we buy things. This is how we make decisions on products, services, all of those things. So really, it really does go to show how influential reviews are and recommendations are from our friends and from just other people who have tried out the things that we're looking at. So I want you to take some time to think about, what are you an advocate of? What makes you an advocate? These are really important things to think about as we go about just how we do our business today. So how do we identify advocates at Power DMS? One of the primary ways we've done this is we've used the NPS survey, as I mentioned earlier, the Net Promoter Score. Very simply, we just ask them, how likely is it that you would recommend us to a friend or colleague? And the ones that respond with a 9 or 10, your promoters, they're invited to our advocacy program. So this is one of the main ways we've been able to identify advocates for Power DMS. So what does our advocate program look like? So this is a screenshot of what it looks like from the advocate's perspective. So we use Influitive, who is putting on this event. And with Influitive, our advocates are able to see different activities we would like for them to participate in. It really helps to gamify the entire experience and really makes it way more engaging than other ways to ask for these types of activities. So a little bit of statistics on advocacy at Power DMS. To date, our program's been running for a year, and we've been able to identify 458 advocates who've helped contribute to 235 reviews across various sites like G2 Crowd, TrustRadius, Capterra, Google Play Store for a mobile app, iTunes, App Store. We have 113 referenceable customers. So these are customers who have raised their hand and said, I'm willing to be a reference. Just let me know when you need that. And to date, 93 referrals. So, this is just a small, we've only been doing this for a year, but I feel like we're at the tip of the iceberg as far as what we're able to do with our advocates. And what does that all amount to? What does all these activities amount to? So far to date, it's brought in $285,819 in opportunity dollars. So these are based off of the reviews, referrals, and references. So just from a company standpoint, we're really starting to see how advocacy is going to be bringing in the revenue for our company and helping us to continue to grow. So how do I start doing wellness and advocacy at my company? So you might be thinking about, this sounds great. This sounds like a lot of stuff. What are some practical ways to get started? I think one of the first things I would recommend, if you're thinking about, taking your customer success to the next level, if you're thinking about, starting an advocacy program, really to start from the top. So do the opposite of what Drake does. He would start from the bottom. So you're going to start from the top. So for wellness and advocacy to work in the long term, it has to be part of the culture. If it only happens in your team, if it only happens with you as an individual, it might be easier to do in the short term, but it will probably not bring the ROI that you're looking for. So one of the things I would recommend is to start sharing these stories and case studies about customers who are doing it well and that are showing that impact on business objectives. I mean, who doesn't like more revenue? So you talk to your leader and just kind of start sharing these stories about how, hey, if we did customer success this way, if we made sure our customers experience something truly different from all the other companies, what kind of revenue impact might that have? And just starting to plant the seed about what if we had a program where we could ask our best customers to do things for us, and we made that a fun experience for them. So that's what I would suggest, to start with maybe the leader in your particular team, so that you want to get buy-in from them, and hopefully once they've bought in, they're able to now share at the leadership group meetings and convince others in leadership meetings that this is a good direction for the company to go. So ultimately, although it would be easier to just start doing stuff, I think for it to be sustainable and to be successful, you do want it to be part of the culture of the company. So you really want to start with your leader, and then having them talk with the other leaders to really get the buy-in from that. Another suggestion that I would have is to start small. You're looking at some of the things that we're doing. We'll sometimes give some gifts to restaurants, and we'll send flowers as condolences, and we'll do different things like that. But maybe you don't have a huge budget for those types of gifts. But something you do have is you have a lot of leftover swag from a conference. Small items like that are unexpected and can have a huge impact. Like just sending a stress reliever that you have some leftover ones from a marketing conference, like just sending that over if someone's having a bad day, that can make a big difference. Something that we do also is we'll send out birthday cards to our advocates. So it's just some blank cards. We'll sign them. We'll have our team sign them, have a little message in there, and we just send them out. And people aren't expecting their vendors to give them things on their birthday. Like they might get an email, but just having a hand-signed card from somebody really is kind of unique. And so, just doing small things like that, it does not cost very much to do those things, but it does make someone feel special, especially when they're not expecting it. So another thing that you can think about doing is, it doesn't even have to be any type of gift necessarily, but it can be a funny GIF, like an animated GIF. For example, after someone completes a successful support case, maybe you throw in a funny dancing animated GIF into the email. Those things that people aren't really expecting, but it can make them laugh, and maybe you have a little bit more of a dialogue after that. Small things like that are unexpected can have a huge impact. And so from an advocacy perspective, if you're interested in starting a program, I would highly recommend Influitive's Introduction to Advocacy course, which is a free course that there's a link for that. So you can actually go and just sign up for this, and it really kind of shows you, how you can think strategically about your advocacy program. And there's a bunch of different spreadsheets and strategy guides and all that kind of stuff to kind of get the ball rolling on advocacy, if that's something that you think you want to do. And that's all, it's free. So that's where I would recommend you start if you're interested in doing that. So another practical tip, measure everything. Once you start doing advocacy or wellness, you should really keep track of what you're doing. If you aren't measuring it, it's going to be hard to tell if things are working or not. So our customer success team has weekly wellness goals that we try to attain. And on the advocacy side, it's really important to keep track of things, especially if you're early on and you're trying to show the ROI. One of the things that we actually started doing, and I wouldn't recommend it for everybody, but if you think that you're going to do advocacy and you really just need to show some numbers before you're able to pull the trigger on something like an Influitive or some kind of platform like that, we actually started with a pilot program, and it was kind of old school, I guess. So we had spreadsheets, we had emails, and I just kept track of all this stuff that I was doing in spreadsheets and what acts of advocacy people were accomplishing for our company. And so even with something small like that, I was able to show, hey, look, we got 20 reviews. That's pretty cool. What if we had something that could scale this up and really make this a lot easier, because it's really difficult to keep track of everything in a spreadsheet. That was enough for our team, our leadership, to kind of see the value of that and make the decision to purchase Influitive or another software like that. So that's something I would recommend. Keep track of everything so that you're able to show your efforts and also the rewards from them. Lastly, from the practical tips perspective, you want to celebrate everything. You want to celebrate your small wins and your big wins. Once you're measuring your efforts and establish goals, celebrate the wins that come in. So one of the things that we have at Power DMS is we have Slack channels where we post wellness stories and advocacy stories. So we also have monthly meetings where we go in depth about different wellness stories, like some of the ones that you heard today. So sharing these stories when you have a platform is also going to be super helpful at any type of leadership meeting or at company-wide meetings. These are the types of stories that really kind of get people excited and make people feel nice. And when you're doing nice things for other people, it makes you feel good. So I would recommend, as much as possible, celebrating those small wins as much as possible, and the big wins that are going to come as much as possible as well. So I want to end with some of the thoughts on what I think the future of customer success and advocacy are going to be. As I'm sure many of you heard, we are in the age of the customer. I hope that's not the first time you've heard that. Companies who make customer success better stand out today. But as more and more companies do it right, it will become the norm. I actually think that that is a very, very good thing for us as customers. If everyone is doing customer success in a way where it's personal and they try to stand out as much as possible and create the best experience that it can be, it really is going to benefit everybody, which is fantastic. It also is going to make our jobs a lot harder because it will make us harder to stand out. So it really is imperative that we make sure our companies are doing it right so we aren't left behind. So that's what I would say about customer success. I also think that many companies with a mature advocacy program will have a strategic advantage over those who don't. So the way that I see this is I take a look at marketing automation software. And just a few years ago, this was probably something that was seen as a nice to have for many companies. But today, it's really hard to find a company that does not have that in some form. And I really do think that that is where advocate marketing is going. So software like Influitive will be a necessity just like a marketing automation software is today for companies to continue to keep up with their competitors. So those are my thoughts on where customer success and advocacy are headed. So I had a great time sharing these thoughts with you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, contact information there. Or if you want, send me your best dad joke. I'd love to hear that. I want to thank Influitive for putting all this together, and I hope that you have a great virtual summit. Thank you so much.